you will find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and Core.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Intel. This is Gyeonggi, as we're about to get into our next series of the day here. I'm alongside Todd. How are you doing, man? Are you excited for the series and tournament as a whole?
Doing great. I'm loving this group. Stats and Innovation were our first match, and now herO against Losira. A lot of big and good players are here in this one, and a lot of potential as well matchups that we could see. Innovation, he did pretty well in the qualifiers, but he lost in the first one to herO, so a potential rematch down the line if herO was to beat Losira here, which I think is pretty likely because he's done well against him in the past, so already getting excited about the future matches, but even this one here, herO against Losira, I think will be very good.
Yeah, definitely. I think for someone like herO, of course, we didn't really see that much of him in the past year, not really getting to the highest heights that he did.
Compared to before, yeah.
Compared to before, exactly, when he had 3 titles in the Intel Extreme Masters. And now, as an Intel Extreme Masters back, during all of that time, he didn't participate in the Intel Extreme Masters, so maybe it's his time.
Yeah, I mean, historically, he's just done so well in this tournament. It feels like it's important to him. Qualified from his first try. And actually, speaking of which, very notably, he had a big win against Bjorn in that first qualifier that he took part in. He looked very good against Zerg. He's facing a Zerg here. He did show a lot of his builds, though. I think we're looking a little bit risky. Like, he was opening a lot of Nexus very quickly on Whirlwind, I think it was, and Newkirk as well, against a Losira who has been playing very aggressively in those qualifiers. So it's already like there's that meta game and those mind games going to this matchup that are going to make for a very interesting dynamic, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course, that guy known as Losira, of course. When we saw him in the qualifiers, he was playing that kind of very aggressive, more cheesy style to get himself here, at least. So, are we expecting something like that coming up against herO, or do you think it's not as easy going up against Protoss?
I feel like it's very unlikely that he played like this just for the qualifier, and then now he's gonna, play a lot more or like very different. So I feel like nowadays Losira just likes to be pretty aggressive, and I guess since he got pretty jacked up in the gym, maybe he just found his confidence with being more aggressive and being the attacker from the start. So we'll see. If he chooses to do that, though, he's going up against someone who's just so solid overall, but it's still possible to lose to a lot of, these link drops, these attacks, these all-ins. We saw on the B stream earlier, Linok beat Zest with some very aggressive builds. He actually lost the long game, even though he was doing really well in the one base trade in game 1 on Whirlwind. That was some fantastic game, by the way.
Yeah, I'm wondering, as a whole, how it's going to develop throughout the tournament, because you've got people like Losira, of course, who can bring that more aggressive style, but when you've got the kind of wealth across all of the players that we have here, it's such a stacked lineup. It's very, very difficult.
There we go with the Kali's fancy words, the wealth.
The wealth.
It's not even that fancy, but
no, it's not.
Just coming out of you with your accent, I guess it kind of is in a way. But yeah, I'm loving these tournaments, and can't wait to see too, like who's gonna make it out, who we're gonna see in the quarterfinals. There's just so many big names that you could theorize anybody can make it on paper, and already seeing some of these first matches as well. Like that Linok against Zest series was quite great, so I'm looking forward to a lot more good ones.
Well, let's take a look at our players, of course, moving forward into our first series of the day, as we do have them almost ready to go here for our series. So it will be Linok and herO going up against one another here to figure out who is going to be moving on to the winners match to play against Innovation. Look at this guy.
It will be Losira, One Congo of his name, and a player who's been around for a long time, who, like I said, got really muscular late.
He's so handsome.
He's been playing really well as of late. He had a little bit of a resurgence as well, like not that he was ever like really bad. He's a player who's been around for a long time, who I used to play against on ladder back from when I was in Korea. And he's just solid all around. Very good with his injects, good at attacking and macroing at the same time. And I mean, back then it was very different. It was a lot more roach orientated, but seems like as of late he likes to be aggressive, and he's going up against a herO who, in my opinion, in the qualifier was one of the most impressive players. I mean, he beat Innovation. in the first qualifier, the guy who's just crushing everybody right now.
Yeah, it's a miraculous thing to see how herO was able to propel himself through this qualifier, considering kind of a lack of results throughout this year as a whole. But overall, in this matchup, I know Zest isn't here, but is this the most handsome matchup that we've kind of StarCraft in a while?
I guess, like in a way. herO, like you can expect his builds to be very crisp. I mentioned openers, being a little bit greedy with some Nexus first that he used against Joel in the qualifier, but there was that game on Newkirk where he went for kind of like a fake third where he made a pylon there and then went for a blink all-in, which we don't really see much of anymore, but that he pulled off perfectly. The micro, the decision making around it as well, like blinking forward during the first attack and then even got a full surround on a lot of those roaches. That was super clean. So I expect these kind of games from him, like these very refined builds that are just so hard to counter because I don't think there's too many players out there that have like an exactly like similar style where they're willing to play solid and sometimes throw in a couple cheese early on, but that they know to transition out of as well as herO. So it's very interesting matchup here between these two for sure.
All right, well, I think our game is almost ready for Newkirk Precinct map number 1 here between these two. And I'm expecting Losira to kind of come out of the gates flying a bit, just kind of try to put on that pressure. We've seen him go for things like Ling drops against Prodosses and try and get in there very, very fast. So, I mean, are you expecting kind of similar things from him?
That's very possible. Like the first question that's going to have to be answered here, do we see a Nexus first? Because like I said, he really likes those unless we're on Habitation Station. herO in the maps that he played against Zerg before, against Bjol, he was always Whirlwind, I think, and Newkirk were Nexus first. So we'll see. Like if he chooses to do that and gets to play against a very aggressive Zerg, it's going to be tricky. He's going to have to be on point. If he has to re-wall behind his initial wall, react at the last second with an Adept or a Force Field.
All right, well, we're ready. Let's get into game number 1 here for the Intel Extreme Masters Gyeonggi between Losira and herO. Down to the bottom left-hand corner, we do have our red Zerg. It is, of course, Losira. See if he's able to bring that aggression to the table. And down at the bottom right-hand corner, a 3-time Intel Extreme Masters champion. It is herO.
It's looking like it's going to be a Nexus first here so far from herO because he's on 15 supply, hasn't made anything. He was pylon down the ramp, so really eager to find out how Losira is going to be playing against this. And again, like these guys, they do their research. Losira most certainly has seen those games. I mean, we're casting that, so the VODs are up. So it's not too hard to find unless you don't know about SC2 Links, which is like one of the best websites in StarCraft to find all these VODs, spoiler-free as well a lot of the time. Yeah. Losira will have done his homework. Does he think that playing very aggressive? Because like there's always this mind game as well of, I know that he knows, right?
Yeah.
Because like herO is not like he's not a mindless player, right? Like herO knows that Losira will have studied these games and might be trying to play aggressive himself, so he's already kind of prepared himself mentally to defend and envisioned some of these attacks coming and how he was going to defend them. So again, that's very dynamic. In fighting, actually, like I watch a lot of fighting. There is this term that's always used, or like this expression that always says that styles make fights. And I feel like in a way in StarCraft it's kind of the same. Like styles, they make this series. Like you've got the more aggressive player potentially in Losira against the Protoss in herO that's fairly solid, likes to open, a little bit greedy sometimes, and that's got very, very refined build. I feel like herO doesn't really freestyle much at all, if ever, right? Like it just looks so crisp every time he does a build order.
Is it likely that we see him going for that kind of common build from Protoss where they like to open for the Dark Templars and then just morph them into Archons, etc.?
I think, that one time actually when he did the Blink Stalker build on Newkirk Precinct against Bjol, he had opened like that, I believe. I think he was DTs into something like a 6-7 gate Blink Stalkers. So expecting something maybe like that, even though like Losira would know about that. In that game against Bjol, I don't think that Bjol overdroned actually. He was up to 52 and then made only units, still died pretty handily to the attack. So it's very tricky. Like you need to get it perfectly during the game if you want to be able to properly handle this kind of build being thrown at you. Just because it's so hard to hold, especially from a guy like this. It's just it's not like a random player on ladder doing this. It's herO, like one of the absolute best Protoss in the world. So you need to be on point with everything. And if Bjol wasn't good enough to hold it, like I don't know if Losira is going to be if we actually do see that build come out.
Well, we're just trying to get this pause solved for you as quickly as possible between these guys. Obviously, they want to be playing in the best conditions possible. How have you been enjoying Korea so far?
It's been nice.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit reunited. Like, I used to live here and stuff, so to get to it, number one for me when I travel, the number one thing that I use to rank countries and decide whether I like them or not is food.
Right.
And I love Korean food, so I came back here and immediately I've been feasting on a little bit of everything, so it's been good. I like the studio as well. Like, the best part of it, I think, is the non-adjustable chairs.
Yeah, thanks for that one. I'm a little bit short, I'm sorry. I can't help it, obviously.
But I'm very excited for this matchup, and like I said, if herO wins here, rematch against Innovation from the qualifiers where he beat him. He was like the one guy that really gave Innovation trouble. In Innovation, though, in the qualifiers looked very impressive. Like, he disposed of Gyeonggi twice in the first 2 qualifiers. He was like, remember those benches, those 11 guaranteed kills benches?
The guaranteed kills. It's a shit.
That was so silly, but it was true.
It's so funny for Gyeonggi as well, because he ended up then playing StarCraft Kings against Innovation again, and then lost to him again with reverse build orders. So Gyeonggi, couldn't catch a break, and Innovation just looks like a god across some of these matchups.
Innovation, like, it's, in a way, is always a guy that cannot really get underrated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even if you already praise him a lot, it feels like you don't praise him enough just because of how good he is, like, most of the time. Like,
and smiled. He smiled on stream. That was weird. I couldn't believe. Twice.
It's like on news on TV in Korea. Innovation smile, breaking news. Like,
It was crazy. It was crazy. So we're just trying to get into the game once again here. It seems that herO had a few problems with his sound going into that first game, so hopefully that is.
We're going to start over.
Yes. Because obviously the game had been extremely developed, so you can possibly do that.
It was a pylon down the ramp and a Nexus not even close to being started because he didn't have that much minerals yet.
Perfect.
No hints yet, actually. I don't know where we were at supply-wise, but it didn't look like Losira had started anything, so it looked like a hatch first. And we'll see if they choose to do the same in the regame. I wouldn't be surprised if it were the case.
Yeah. Cool.
It's good to see Losira, though. Like, when you have a tournament like this and the qualifiers on the Korean server, obviously you expect the Koreans to dominate.
Yeah.
Now, only one non-Korean made it, which is Ayasonu, that will be playing later, so that's pretty cool. But, like, a lot of Koreans are going to qualify, but you're like, yeah, I guess which one and stuff. And for the most parts, it seems like very obvious. Like, some of those that did well, like herO here, for example, like being a multiple Intel Extreme Masters champion. But Losira is maybe one of those names that we didn't expect as much.
Right.
But played pretty well in the qualifiers here to make it in. He definitely earned his spot, so.
I mean, he's not necessarily even been to that many Intel Extreme Masters, if I recall. I think he went to Shenzhen, and that's about it, really. Maybe one other than that, but not much compared to someone like herO who's been to
who was it that he
each
beat?
time.
Was it Rogue? Maybe in the qualifying
ZvZ?
match? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was like a ZvZ where he played like very,
Yes.
I want to say cheesy, but let's just say very aggressive in general.
Got the better of him and won, so he qualified on. So.
I was surprised, to be honest. I didn't expect Losira in particular to qualify, but he played well and now he's here.
I mean, just in general, the qualifiers as a whole had so many good players because that's how it always is with the Intel Extreme Masters Korea qualifiers. And then basically we had 3 of them for this tournament, which is awesome. So it's nice to see how good the players have really kind of stepped up to actually qualify for this tournament and then move on forward.
I think in this group, Innovation's looking really good, but like I said, if herO wins here, then he's the guy who beat him during the qualifiers, so then he will be between the two. But Stats is supposed to be like a beast as well. Made it far at BlizzCon, been playing really well for a long time, like the entire year. The entire year, he's played amazing. So just to think that these 3 players, one of them is not going to make it, maybe 2 of them is Losira surprises us and beat some of these guys. Like, I feel like it's unlikely. Like, Losira is supposed to be the huge underdog here in this group, but you should never count this guy out. I did it in the qualifier, and guess what? He's here.
No, he beat Rogue. I mean, as you say, that's kind of like a good testament alone to push him forwards. We're still just waiting, guys, for this game to get loaded up fully and good to go. Once again, we're still on UCUP Precinct, still just kind of chilling and waiting for this to start. I suppose you should have asked me kind of how I've been enjoying South Korea, considering it's my first time ever.
I know you're loving it. I don't need to ask that.
I know. I went to a PC
How much
bang.
are you loving it?
A lot. I can't believe how cool a PC bang was. Actually, my first time going. I know it's just a normal LAN cafe, I suppose, but a PC bang in Korea is basically like the dream. It was nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Actually, there's so many of them as well.
Yeah, we just need to find more.
It's funny because finding a restaurant, I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know which one were going to be open for lunch. But PC Bang, I know. I didn't even need to look for. We just stepped outside of the restaurant. There is one here, and one here. Let's just pick one, and it was nice.
I want that to become a normal thing in Europe. Like, that would be so cool, just to be able to go out into a city or whatever, find somewhere to play.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would actually leave my house. Doesn't happen often, let's be honest, unless I'm traveling.
You probably wouldn't, anyway.
Nah, you're probably right. Oh well.
It's interesting, that culture. Like, you see people play different games as well, and quite a few people were playing Overwatch. I did so as well, a little bit. It was interesting to be on the microphone.
Oh, I know. All right, we're getting in back to game number 1. We are done. Thank you very much for your patience, guys. To the bottom left-hand corner in the red, it is Losira. Looking to try and upset in this game.
Same position.
And to the bottom right-hand corner, wow, the same positions, I can't believe it. It is going to be herO in the blue. Looking for another Intel Extreme Masters title. But it's quite the lineup. It's probably the strongest lineup in Intel Extreme Masters history.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because we say that almost every single Intel Extreme Masters, but it's true every time. Because these guys get better. So, herO went for the panel on the ramp. He's not actually going to Nexus first, so already showing a lot of respect to Losira, who's going to go for a hatch first, but not on his natural, so already very mind game heavy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Losira, from these openers, I like where he's put himself at. Like, herO's already scouting, which he wasn't even doing that much in his series against Bjorn during the qualifiers. The game on, I think it might have been Whirlwind, he actually didn't scout in the start. He left a probe outside of his wall to wall off if he needed to, and actually he did need to because Bjorn was going to attack with Zerglings.
Yeah, it's super cool for Losira to play to that image of like, I've been aggressive, let me show you this initially, and even if he goes 2 hatch before anything else now, there's a good potential that he gets away with this for a little while, because at the moment, herO is playing a little bit scared.
Well, what was the saying of like a cheesy player? The best thing you can do is like to play macro.
Well,
right?
we have the
from herO Fuchsius.
herO Fuchsius, the famous Greek philosopher. I remember that guy. Yeah. But no, this is really cool to see Losira kind of approach it like that.
Not even going for any gas actually here early on. He's just like going to be mineral heavy, and herO right now, his mind must be all over the place. Like, okay, now he sees the gas timing. He must know that he's just basically being a double hatchery, and he's kind of being tricked. Like, in comparison, his Nexus is going to be so late. Like, that's all Roddy will be talking about right now. He's like, I can't believe that Nexus is so late.
It's so late, guys.
He's already lost. But in that case, he would be perfectly right. Like, that in comparison, that expansion is just very, very late. You can try and use this build to your advantage here as herO. Get 2 adepts and try and snipe a couple drones, but obviously Losira is going to spot this, make enough links to, I think, defend comfortably. But we'll see. You can never underestimate like these adepts in the hands of some of these top guys like herO.
Twilight Council going down behind this for herO, so there's a potential that he does go down the normal path of that Dark Shrine, get those Dark Templars out and then morph them into Archons later on. But we did see that kind of blink play later follow-up in the qualifiers, so maybe he'll use that again. But by that time, Losira's going to have a sick economy if this goes unhindered.
Yeah, it really depends also if he manages perfectly in terms of these adepts, makes just enough units. He starts an evolution chamber, which makes me very curious as to whether he might want to drop with this, but he hasn't started speed even though he has plenty of gas. So maybe just for some upgrades.
Just trying to save some of these drones, morphing them into some spore crawlers to make sure the adept can't...
Okay, this one has already done way more than I thought he should have.
Yeah, it's disrupted a lot of mining time, never mind got any kills here and there.
This is why herO is one of the absolute best players out there. Like, he's gonna almost transform the situation into a favorable one for him, where he does the maximum amount of damage you can do with just one single adept, and then you go straight into these either 4 Dark Templars or double Archon drop, and you exploit the fact that the Zerg went for 3 bases very quickly and that they're separated very far apart.
Yeah.
And basically, they're going to be stuck on Zerglings and Roaches early on. He already sniped a couple drones, so he's going to be ahead economically, which means that he's going to force units out of the Zerg and make sure that the Zerg doesn't get where he wants to get in terms of economy. And then from there, the question is going to be, does herO actually take a third this time, or does he do the big gateway Blinkstalker all-in follow-up that we've seen him do against Bjorn on this map earlier? I wonder what this encourages, because Bjorn didn't actually expand on the top left as third base. He took the one just a little bit above. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In the pocket.
In the pocket. But it's interesting to see how Losira's build's kind of shaping up. He's going plus melee weapons for his Zerglings, etc. And then we have Roach Warren going down as well.
He's going to be playing Ravager Baneling, I guess, maybe with some drops. Having that Evolution Chamber doesn't just mean that you can get upgrades, you can get drops as well out of this. So it's been the trend. It's very, very good. Against the Protoss, as strong as herO, I don't know how much you can expect Baneling drops to do. So we'll see if he chooses to be aggressive with those. Like, you need to time them perfectly, hope that he's not looking, like hope he's having a bad day, which with herO is rarely ever the case, really. So
yeah. All right, well, the game has begun once again. Let's jump right back on it and see how this is going to unfold. Warp Prism's halfway complete, whilst that Dark Shrine's about to finish up, and those Gateways finishing at a pretty decent time as well, so they can just warp in those 4 Dark Templars straight away.
Not pretty decent, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, look at the production tab.
Nice.
Those 2 Gateways in the Dark Shrine are going to align perfectly. The Warp Prism, in comparison, finishes a little bit late, but it's going to be early enough for him to start on warping in some DTs mid-map.
Yeah.
And now, I feel like he might take the 3rd this time.
Is Losira just trying to cut as many corners as possible, trying to kind of... Because he's
Well,
going for a lot of queens for defense here.
Every Zerg ever is.
Well, yeah. But then from that point on, trying to get to the very late game with these melee upgrades and trying to... But how does he get there against this kind of aggressive play from...
You need roaches. Usually the problem is that those 3 bases are spread out so far apart here for Losira that roaches wouldn't have the mobility without speed. So he's going to rely a lot on Zerglings and queens. He's got 6 queens there. He sees this coming, but I mean, it's Archons against just pure Zerglings and just 2 queens here in support, and there isn't even speed there.
That's why the queens have to start focusing down that Warp Prism so they can actually maybe try and salvage some of this situation at the moment, considering he's very light on that defensive capability. Even warping in more units.
Oh, the Warp
down
Prism!
the Warp Prism! Will it go down? Yes, it will. Great focus fire there from Losira, but he's lost a lot in the process, and the Zealots will manage to warp in.
And those Adepts to do a lot at the same time if he starts targeting on some of these drones.
Zealot's still doing quite a bit here against all of these Lings. It's not many left, and even a few drones dying off towards his position. That Adept, I think he managed to shade away, just barely saving his life. Zarkon's still being irritating. And he basically sees all the plans here from Losira as well.
Yeah, this did a fair bit here. Look at the work accounts. 42 drones to 53 probes with the 3rd base about to finish here for herO. He doesn't mind that this was defended. I think this has done enough damage for him to be happy with the situation. He's going into Blink, he's got to add more gates. From there, he can just go into a very Blink-heavy army. He warped in sentries behind this, so I wonder if he might try and play it a little bit slower. But out of herO, you can always expect some sort of attack with a lot of Stalkers, especially when he's going to have enough force fields to really deal with some of those Banelings on the ground. And there's still no sign of any Dropper Lords. I don't think Pneumatized Carapace was made.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, these sentries though, you can throw down some force fields to save themselves. We'll throw down 1 there, but he's going to lose quite a few of them. These 4 sentries were designed to just hold that position.
Yeah, and in the meantime, this is doing a bit of damage here across the map, sniping one of those queens. Trying to catch any rallying drones between the natural and 3rd base. Baneling Nest on the way. And I think
2 Lings as well. Is he just going to try and bust that location? Because at this point, he's only having to deal with Dark Templar. He's got +2 weapons about to finish up. I figured that he might go straight over towards Hive and try and find Ultras lists and things like that, but...
I think herO right now, he knows exactly where he's at economically. He's very happy with it. I think he's looking for a 4th base, but it's not there. It's all the way to the top here from Losira. If herO actually went there with DTs, he might be able to snipe it. But for now, he's just getting +1, getting more gates. Still no sign of any kind of Robo-Bay, which really makes me think that herO might want to go for just a 3-base massive attack with way more than Losira can handle.
A lot of Blink Stalkers, a few Immortals in the mix.
Yeah.
And starts another Nexus, actually, up towards his top position. Shows it to the Zerglings, so might even just kind of... I don't want to say feign it truly, because he's not really warping in that many Stalkers right now, I don't think, no? So just kind of solidifying himself across his mid-game.
Yeah. But like, he's actually still making walkers. Like, herO really doesn't seem to mind going to the later stages of the game here right now with the way he's playing. Pneumatized Carapace on the way now. And we got double Evo now as well for the Zerg player, who's going to be relying a lot on these upgrades. Sniping that 4th base here from herO is so perfect while he's taking his own. Like, this is such a herO game that we're seeing. It's like solid from start to finish. He's doing pretty much everything right. Like, +2 now starts. And I don't know what it's going to take for Losira to somehow win this, like maybe like a perfect fight or something. But out of herO, I just expect... Remember like what herO was known for back in the day? In those Intel Extreme Masters he did super well in? He would make sentries, fly a hallucinated Phoenix and be like, okay, I'm gonna kill you in 2 minutes with that attack. And I feel like in this game, he doesn't even need the hallucinated Phoenix because he's been across the map with his War Prism, DTs, Archons, and he knows exactly where the Zerg is at. And now he's gonna go for the attack that I think Losira is going to have such a hard time defending against here.
Yeah, and all the Banelings that are morphing in at the moment are aggressive Banelings over on the other side of the map. 2 Ravagers might get forced to be cancelled in a moment here. Vile will not get anything. Baneling's going to head over into that third base, though. Have to wiggle on around this pylon and try and do something there. Not really doing much at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The amount of Banelings that were there.
Losira is sending Banelings in every single base of herO right now, in the main base, in the natural as well. We see that probe count dying. 30 of them have died here just now, but that might mean that Losira might not have enough at home.
Yeah, can he even stop this army? A Guardian Shield actually got well up, and that sentry ties off, but it doesn't matter. herO takes the first game. GG. That is there's no other way for Losira to really deal with that. He taps out.
herO, the only Protoss to ever be happy about Banelings being sniping his probes across the map, because that meant that Losira was not going to have enough. And to be honest, even if those Banelings had been there, there might not have been enough here from Losira against this massive amount of army here from herO. And his control, like those blink forward, they're always calculated. Unlike some of Patience's blink forward sometimes.
Hey, won him a championship.
Yeah.
But no, you're right.
His fearlessness did, yeah.
You're right about it. 16 Banelings over against that kind of a massive amount of Stalker army that he actually had there with the Archons, with the Immortals as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really do that much in it during it. So herO had all the cards.
Yeah, very nicely done. And this is kind of what I expected the way this series was going to go. Like, I do think that Losira, it was good the way that he opens, but he just didn't seem super solid behind this in the way that, you know, he droned up, made Zerglings, defended against the Adepts, and that was all credit to herO, though. He really made the most of like that one. I can't believe that one Adept was like such a little demon, like annoying Losira so much and getting some damage done. Like, I feel like if I send an Adept like this against Losira, like, I'm not even going to attack any unit. It's literally just going to die. So,
do you think Losira's kind of game plan looked a bit kind of too spread out across the board? I mean, he's going for melee upgrades. He's trying to defend with
maybe not his game plan, but the way he expanded was definitely. Okay. I think if he had taken the other third base, and this might be an indicator that again he saw that those games against Bjorn, he was like, I don't want to die to a Blink Stalker all in because I took that base towards you. So I'm going to take the other third base, but he still died to a Blink Stalker timing, so I don't know.
Oh well, let's get into game number 2 now as we get loaded up onto Whirlwind. And down at the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Red Zerg once again. It is Losira, looking to bring himself back in this series. And up to the top right-hand corner, in the blue, it is herO. Currently doing very well for himself here in the first game, making it look pretty simple.
And so far it's looking like the exact same build order here from herO. Pylon down the ramp, followed by Scouts, giving again a lot of respect to Losira. And I mean, it's really also, it depends on the image of your opponent, right? If you're playing against a Zerg who you know never cheeses, you're going to be a lot more encouraged to just go for a Nexus first, not even Scout, play fairly greedy. Obviously, you want to be safe, you're still going for your wall, maybe leaving a probe outside of your wall, but now herO he's not cutting any corners. He just goes for a gas behind this, he opens very safe, even though last game, Losira opened very economically. herO's not that bothered because I think he realizes that in the later stages of the game, as long as he can make it there, that's all he has to do. He's going to be better, generally speaking, I think, than Losira. So he doesn't need to cut any corner, and he doesn't look like he's what he's going to be going for here, even though this time around, he goes for a quicker Nexus and doesn't mind gas early on.
And Losira just relatively from one extreme to another, trying to hide the probe as that, the drone, so as the probe comes in, he could try and sneak past it, but he was unsuccessful to block. Oh, nice. Pop. He got it.
That's going to be a nice block here, actually, against Losira, who opened gas and pull early on, who's going to be starting speed in a second, and who already is being pushed into what might be forced here to go into some aggression himself. Oh my god.
I mean, look at his minerals bank up. 445 minerals, and the pylon goes down to waste even more time. He's at 500 minerals, Todd.
The cherry on top of the cake, Carlos.
Oh, it's tasty. It's lovely. I love it. And these Zerglings gonna have to start breaking this down. Because if it's a Zerg, if you go and take another location on this map, it's so far away.
How much minerals he has?
600 minerals! That's a lot of minerals.
If I was Losira, I would be like, alright, you've pushed me far enough. I'm going all in.
And then you lose. I'm sorry.
Did he cancel speed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is this probe going?
I think Losira realized that herO has scouted everything, and he's playing the mind game of saying, herO has scouted everything, he's delayed my second base a lot. What would a Zerg do here a lot of the time? Just go all in because they're on tilt and they're expanding so late. But Losira is saying, because he's going to expect that, I'm actually going to play super greedy here. Cancel speed, just get a ton of drones, and just surprise this guy who might be playing a lot more defensively than he should be.
Oh, the follow-up scout, it's so good from herO. He identifies that the third base is down. Now he can play pretty much carefree on his side of the map. He's getting 2 gateways extra down, but realistically, does he even need that amount of gateways at the moment?
You know what's crazy is that herO right now, his probe is being chased by a slow link when there should be speed.
Yeah.
So he's like,
he'll get away.
He might be able to realize here from there exactly what's happening, and Losira basically just cancels speed, and he's going to be playing perfectly standard from there.
Ling manages to get in and have a look around, but it's not really going to see much at all here. All it saw was the gateways at the front of the wall, and then when it falls, it's a bit of a sad Ling. Sad Ling.
The Sad Zealot Club is not the Sad Ling Club.
Sorry, Zerg. We apologize for carries.
Is he going to proxy a gateway and be aggressive with the depths? Triple gateway already up here for herO, who's not going for any kind of Twilight Council, so I think he might want to be... like I said, herO, he scouts perfectly, he realizes perfectly what's happening. I think right now he realized that speed was cancelled, and if he goes for a big warp-in of 3 adepts, which he's doing right now, this could do a lot of damage because there might not be enough Zerglings, and I don't think there is right now if you look at the supply.
Oh, it's not even that huge an investment.
It's not many Zerglings out on the map, so he's just going to warp in a bunch of adepts and be very aggressive with those behind these double Stargates to go into Phoenixes. Remember herO at that one game against Bjol, I think he was Habitation Station, where he went for 3 Stargates and made a lot of Phoenixes into Void Rays and just kind of crushed him.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Is it on Daybreak?
No, that was Habitation Station.
That was a different one. Alright, well, his Adept's going to come in and do quite a bit of damage. 20 Lings on the way at this point in time, but he can also already ransack his base. There's a few drones towards the back.
And Losira right now, he must be thinking, are you kidding me? Like, why can't one thing go right here against this guy? Shade is probably going to go forward here. Actually, he cancels last second, so herO looking to try and stay around that third base.
Wants to stay near the mineral line just in case those Lings get towards him, because then he can actually position himself well. Although that being said, he's still in an alright spot here. The Adepts have so much help against these Lings, and look, positioning against that wall.
He's looking to snowball here. He knows that there is no Spore on that base. He's going to bring Oracles here to escort these units. And this is actually the same way he opens on Habitation Station against Bjol, against the gold base. He was making a lot of Adepts, reinforced with Oracles, sniped all the Lings and Queens, and in that case, even the Spore that was in main. After he sniped that, Adepts and air units reign supreme, and that's why he's going to transition to Phoenixes behind this.
I mean, these Adepts don't have Resonating Blades, but they're still doing plenty of work. Third base is going down behind this. Losira sees this going down with his Overlord, and now he's going to have to deal with the Oracles that are coming as well. This is very difficult for Losira.
Losira is not having fun so far in this game, not one bit.
Not at all. Phoenix are going to follow this up as well, as the Oracles start to go to work on one Queen, and then the drones are going to be a little bit susceptible to this. Oh, Spore has only just started, Todd.
A little bit susceptible. It's going to be an absolute slaughter, man. 7 get sniped, 8. Behind this forces Spore, like the economy of Losira is in the toilets. 40 drones to 49 probes. He's still losing more and more here.
The Adepts could reposition themselves between these 2 pylons and be fine for a little while further against these Zerglings, as the Phoenix is flying across now.
Okay, get off my lawn. Like.
Go away.
This Zerg is literally going to get chased away by double overcharge. 14 drones have been sniped here just recently. And behind these Phoenixes, they're just going to fly all over the place in between the 3 bases that are, again, fairly spread out and snipe anything that they can. I wonder... Oh, Fleet Beacon! That's what I was wondering about. He might go straight into carriers there.
I was about to say
+1 air weapon. All right, it's already built.
I was about to say why fix what isn't broken, but that would be debatable for some Zergs, I suppose, with those carriers doing oh so well, as the Phoenix are going to come in and have a little look around.
Oh, this is so sick. Like herO, he just puts himself ahead, and then from there just makes every single perfect decision. Like I said, Losira's economy is just has been wrecked this game. He's on less than 50 walkers against the 59 of herO, who's already set up on 3 bases.
I mean, if you look at the production tab alone, he's going range for Queens, and he had the Roach Warren, so he's going to have a few Roaches and maybe some Ravagers in this, against a Fleet Beacon finishing.
When carrier production begins before there is a Hydra then starting, you know that you're doing something right as Protoss.
Exactly. So obviously is going to come in and be very, very unhappy. More drones are going to fall from those Phoenix as well. And all he has is Lings to try and put on counter offense, but even towards the third base, he's not doing anything.
Realize, look at the supply.
Oh no.
He has so much more.
It's never been more applicable than it is now, Todd. Oh no.
And the Nidus, I love this actually. Losira recognizes that there is no way he's going to win the longer game here. So he's just going to mass queens, get a bunch of roaches and some extra units on the grounds, and he's going to hit before there is too many carriers for him to handle. And I'm not going to say that it's going to work, but it's his only chance in this game.
Yeah.
And I love that he's recognized that.
I mean, where would he even throw it down? I guess at the front, because right now he doesn't really have overlords in good positions.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's invisible when it goes up, but yeah, he needs to pick the most effective spot, which I think ideally would be where there is not many pylons and on top of the air production. Yeah. So I think in that main is the perfect spot. And actually even to go back there with the entire army of herO is going to be tough. He might just pull all probes, tries to snipe the Nidus quickly, but you can always expect queens to be in there. This hasn't been spotted.
Yeah.
He now goes up, he brings drones and he's going to get spores.
Oh, what an attempt here from Losira. He knows he's in a really bad spot and he's actually on top of the Stargates as well. If he could kill those Stargates...
This might work here.
He's looking so scary. Down. He's trying to throw down a stasis trap as well here while all of this is going on.
But these Stargates are empowered now.
Yeah. This might work. This might work from Losira. Shading forwards here with the Adept. He's going to try and pick up a few of these units as well. As he has to go for this fight. Queens are going to get picked up quickly. Spore Call has been finished up. He wants to target down some of these Phoenix so he can stop them from picking up. More roaches are coming through, Todd.
Transfuse at the last second on one of those Queens. Now the spores are going to come into play as well. A couple of roaches get trapped. Two carriers are now there.
He's focusing one of the carriers. It's not being microed. He's going to lose that carrier. He needs to keep them alive. It's so close to going down. Oh my god, he saves it. The mothership core's coming out once again as the other one that died off whilst making a proper mothership. He needs to focus down that carrier. It's so low and it keeps making interceptors. He's actually might be able to hold, but there's still roaches and queens looking to back up.
Yeah, these Adepts on the ground doing a fantastic job, tanking a lot of damage, but these spores really coming into play. They're going to snipe these interceptors, and even though they are very cheap, they need to be replaced, and they're not attacking in the meantime.
Oh my god, Losira, is he actually going to do this? He's bringing down quite a lot of these units still. The Stasis Ward is trying to keep some of those solidified for the moment, but he's on top of all of the proper units. He's killed off so many probes. He's up in supply. Todd, I have to say it, look at the supply. I can't believe...
That's all I'm looking at.
That's all it... These interceptors alone have come out of the range of the four crawlers now, are doing quite a bit of damage to the roaches, but they're not killing them fast enough.
Losira ahead on walkers now, but he's still very much committed to this attack here, doing more than that. He needs to move the spores forward, need to keep on creep spreading. Yeah. Keep in mind, these are the only two carriers out there, and there is no more Stargates up here from the Protoss players, so these are going to be the only two ever maybe to grace the Protoss army in this game, and I think Losira might have done it.
Unbelievable. What a clutch play to bring out the Nidus Worm with this Queen Roach attack just before when he had the one opportunity. That Changeling, what a hero. No pun intended, as these roaches with the Queen's going to move down towards the natural now and look to do even more damage.
Oh, this is so sick. This was the one thing that I think he could do to win this game, and I think Losira is doing it right now. herO trying to defend on that second base with more Adepts.
I'm just in shock. I can't believe.
Me too.
I mean,
and I think herO is as well because he's still in this game.
Yeah. 150 supply against 66. The carriers are going uncontested, but by the time they kill off all of the roaches, they'll have done so much damage to the worker line. GG. Losira is able to recover. Oh my god.
That was sick. Like, very rarely do you see games like this where a player is just so far behind and then he goes for the one game that he could go for. And this really is a testament here to Losira's brilliance in this game on Whirlwind here. I'm still shocked, man. You really don't see this very often. He was backed into a corner, he was left with no choice. Still, a lot of players, they would have chosen to try to drone up, somehow back up, hope that the Protoss overextends in one of their attacks. And then eventually you can win like this. Or maybe makes a mistake composition-wise, you know, goes for too many Phoenixes, gets them fungal somehow by burrowed infestors. That's the dream, right? But Losira is like, you know what? It's too hard for me to go for Hydralisk and win this. You're playing with double Stargate, obviously behind your Adepts. You're probably going to go into carriers. What can I do that's really good against this? +1 missile attack, lots of Queens, Nidus across the map, roaches, and the spores. The spores were so important because the Queens against carriers, they still die like fairly fast. You can also target the Queens with the Adepts that you have there. So Just a perfect execution from Losira.
All right, game number 3 here, up to the top right-hand corner in the red. It is Losira. Oh, what a comeback. What a comeback. And down to the bottom left, in the blue, it is herO. Maybe a little bit shell-shocked after that one, because was not expecting that changeling. What a boss.
Losira has been pretty tricky as far as the openers go.
Yeah.
Like, he's really played the mind games of trying to do what the Protoss will not expect. Now, does he go for a gold base here? That's the big question. It looks like no. It's just going to be a second base elsewhere than where you would expect. Actually, no. He's just going to take the natural.
Where is he going? I guess he just wants to scout very quickly.
No. I think like this might be a hatchery after. I'm not sure. Whereas herO, actually, I was thinking on this map, does he go for a Nexus first or something? No, not at all, actually. It's completely different. He's doing a similar opener that we saw him do on Habitation Station when he played against Spjol with the double gas, just the standard gateway opener and the delayed Nexus. Back then, he got the second pylon down the ramp, which is important to start warning off with. And it looks like he's going to do the same there.
Block. Oh.
And actually, that's going to buy so much time.
Yeah, especially after seeing the pylon down the low ground as well. It's like, well, you
this
know
should force a Zealot. I'm surprised hero's not getting a Zealot. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Money.
He was still prioritizing pro production, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, this is so annoying though. Like, herO not pulling any probes. Like, sure, he's gonna get rid of this eventually, and creep nowadays recedes much faster than he used to. But as far as taking an expansion goes here, herO's expansion is gonna be delayed a lot, so he might already be planning how he's gonna be aggressive out of this because he cannot expand nearly as quick. Maybe drop down a Stargate in his main, go for Oracles, make sure he keeps the Zerg economy down by forcing Spores, sniping a couple drones here and there. He's not gonna have the Has reaction of taking double gold bases.
No, probably not. Sadly, not here. Oh, he was so close to qualifying.
He was close, actually. And against Maru nonetheless.
No, exactly.
That one Vanny game.
He should have won. Oh, why are you? I've reminded myself of this. Never mind, you reminded me of this.
This is so sick.
Oh, the worst throw of all time. And yet he still has the best percentage vote in Nation Wars because he's Has.
Oh, of course. Like,
Of course.
If they, you know, like how in Intellectual Masters there's like a player of the tournament or like a baller of the tournament.
Yeah.
That gets like a bunch of G Fuel and stuff. If Has was here this time, I think he might get voted.
What,
that player for sure. Yeah.
Here as a spectator, or?
Yeah. As anything. Just give that man G Fuel. Reward him for all the entertainment.
Imagine Has on G Fuel. That would just be 10 times Has. I can't believe.
Yeah. He actually becomes a standard player.
Oh, the madness that could ensue.
If you thought he was crazy before, wait until you see him on G Fuel.
He has had 10 times the energy. What a guy. All right, well, herO is going to put on some pressure here.
And like I said, Oracles are going to follow this up. I'm just not sure Losira is going to be ready for this. We don't see any Spore starting, and herO's keeping him busy here.
Yeah. Very busy. Look
with
how much
these adepts.
He's losing. Jeez. The Queens are trying to focus down that mothership core, but she will get
Does
away.
he start a Spore? No, there's still no Spore because he's worried about ground units. He's going to spot that one Oracle coming out. That's a big deal because now he can start Spore if he saw it.
He must have done with that. It doesn't look like he has, though. I mean, he doesn't really have that much minerals at the same. Yeah, he knows. So he didn't have
3 Queens in the natural and 1 Spore in the main. It's actually okay, but Oracle is closing in very quickly. He might just go for the Queens.
2 Adepts and a Zealot, though. He's trying to focus down some of those Queens. He barely didn't get one towards the end. And actually, a great surround with the Lings. Gets one of the Adepts. He manages to kill one of the Queens. Oracle's going to head into the main, but...
This is a great defense here from Losira.
Yes. That Spore's just finishing up at the right time. Is this going to die?
He's going to get it.
Ah! Oh!
Wow. The tables have turned, Calais. Look at the supply now. Who's in charge? Losira with the proxy hatchery delays the expansion of herO so much. And all of a sudden, he finds himself finally in a game where he's droning up comfortably, has defended perfectly in the early game. Like in the units lost as well. Like what has he lost really? Just a couple drones, some Zerglings, and he's killed so many Adepts and Oracle as well.
Yeah, Link's putting on pressure, keeping him at home while he takes his third base, getting that Roach Warren down. Losira here.
He might be able to break in.
Upset.
Mothership Core is about to come out, but he would come out from the main, so he forces the Oracle all the way back.
Oracle in defense means herO is scrambling here, trying to get out more probes, trying to saturate that natural very soon. Tough times for herO.
Oh, he forces an overcharge immediately as well. This is just masterclass here from Losira.
Not even going to get the Overlord.
It's so funny how it's so easy to count this guy out. Like after the first game, I was like, oh, I guess herO comfortable 2-0. Nope. Sickest comeback in game 2, and now in game 3 so far, Losira is doing everything right. but he's gonna face a big challenge here in that one Dark Templar build that we're gonna see come out again here out of herO.
Surely it has less potency though after a Stargate, so he has to maybe go for the Archons a little bit earlier.
And also this time around, Losira I don't think will go again for mass links. He's already getting roaches.
Right.
Does he actually want to do his own attack there? Or does he think this attack is gonna come much earlier than he actually is? Because getting this many roaches here when he could be droning up more is a bit weird. Maybe he anticipates a big adept attack. He anticipates some sort of attack. But maybe he's just read it a little bit wrong with getting roaches this early. Oh no, he's moving across the map with queens.
Oh my god, he's gonna go.
Where is the lair? I don't think, he's not taking to lair at all.
No, if he doesn't have a lair, then he's dead in the water over there. I mean, Dark Templars will slowly kill everything off and push it back.
Not slowly.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna slaughter this. Losira, I think you might be making the wrong choice, bro.
We need a lair.
He must be thinking it's like some sort of third base standard or mass adept play.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's the guys with the blades that are invisible.
Unless he gets the sickest bile shots of all time, he's not going to kill him. So where are they morphing in actually?
I wonder, do you think he taps out immediately? This is like looking really bad.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Actually, the DTs were a little bit out of position, so now this army gets in there, even though DTs can come back and defend against this. Starting to lose a lot of units.
Looking at herO on the camera there, he looked a little bit flustered in a slight panic.
I mean, he didn't see this army coming, even though we were standing right next to it.
This could be really bad for him. Where are the Dark Templars? They're trying to kill off some of the reinforcements, but these Ravagers are getting so much done here at the front. Throwing down the biles on that Warp Prism as well. So that Warp Prism dying means he can't put on some easy counter-aggression after he's cleaned this up.
I can't believe herO didn't see this attack coming. He was standing right next to this entire army. He could have cut it down. He could have made sentries in defense. He could have rewalled, but did none of that. And now he's losing all of his probes. And I think he might go down in this series here and not get another match against Innovation. In this case, he will be Losira against Innovation in the winner's match.
By the time the Dark Templars get over the other side, the layer is going to be finished. He will have Overseers. There's already Spore Crawlers there anyway. He really wants this Nexus. I don't... Oh, he's got Summoned Links. I think he does get it. It's going to be really close. Ah! Swipe! Swipe! Smartphone! Smart... Oh, no. Okay, so he gets the Nexus. Nicely done by Losira. That almost solidifies himself to win.
Yeah, 20 probes against 49 drones, I think, Losira here. He's in a position where it's going to be very hard for him to lose, no matter how hard he tries.
Yeah.
And herO is probably going to have so many regrets here about this game. He's whopping in Zealots. I think he might have lost his... He lost his core? No, he was in the main. But I guess he thinks like just Archon and Zealots all in is the only way he can win here, but not even that. I think he's going to save him, and he might have to tap out here in a second.
Yeah, with those being detected by the Overseer, not much left here for herO. What a recovery from Losira in Game 2. GG, he takes the series 2-1. Unbelievable way to recover in that series.
Wow. He does it somehow, and he will face Innovation next. herO, his reward for losing, or his punishment rather, is going to be facing Stats. In the loser's match of all things.
Yeah, what a group. What a group. Losira taking that victory. Stats looked happier losing, then Losira looked happier winning. That was weird. But herO, unfortunately for him, the king of the Intel Extreme Masters pretty much, has fallen at the first hurdle. It's going to be a difficult road.
That was crazy. Like, again, I cannot believe that herO's army entirely missed, because it's not only like his units were right next to this army, there is also the Watchtower. If you had one unit there, one Adept, one Zealots, sent one of his DT or whopping one of his DTs, he sees this entire army coming across the map. Yeah. He rewalls behind his initial wall and he cuts everything down with the DTs and wins. This is what we were picturing would happen. Yeah. I guess we completely forgot about the option where the Protoss doesn't see the attack from the Zerg coming at all and dies, and that's probably what Losira was counting for, on top of, I think, hoping that there was something else than DTs. Because I don't think you do this attack hoping that it's DTs and that the opponent will not see it as well. Because that's rarely going to ever happen. So, really sick win here from Losira for sure.
I mean, what a start to this tournament. Not only this series, but also when we had on the B stream as well. Zest's game on Whirlwind going down. Innovation looking great in his first series.
Losira had never beat herO before. It was 6-0 in herO's favor. And now, like, when it counts most, I guess, in this stacked group, he beats him. So, congratulations to him, but now he faces Innovation, though.
Now he does, yeah. What a group we have to unfold here. I think that does it from us here, though, at the desk for now. So join us after the break for more Intel Extreme Masters Gyeonggi when we have more StarCraft action to come.
Do you want to feel like a pro gamer? Wait no more.